It's another Keeping Track segment. I'm Ken Cara with local motorsport journalist Dino Alberto, and with us today we have local driver Brandon Crockford. You probably know him from around the tracks around here. I know you from MMI Baseball. That's the first thing I said when you walked in here, taking it back to that career. You were there. Were you there for a district championship or anything? Can we go back to your MMI Baseball career a bit?
Yeah, I was. Actually, I was a part of the 2018 district championship team. It was a lot of fun. Being able to play with those guys was, I'd say a pleasure. It's a shame our senior season, which I think is the year that our team really would have came together, didn't happen, which was really unfortunate. But I really did learn a lot, and at the same time I was having fun doing it, playing.
Pitcher there, what position?
Well, I moved around a little bit. My freshman year I was a first baseman, then I moved over to third base. I would pitch a little bit here and there. My senior season I actually moved to the outfield, but I really never got to see what was going to happen from that. But yeah, I helped around a little bit, but I always try to figure out where I can help the team the best.
So I interviewed you back then. I know, or at least I would talk about you playing baseball. Never knew that you had this whole racing career also going on in your life. Give us your background on that. When and why did that start?
That started, my dad actually used to race sporadically from the later 90s up until the mid-2000s, actually in 270s, which is what I raced myself. He did that mainly at Greenwood Valley, which is my primary track now. Once he got out of that, throughout the following years, me and him would just go up to watch really consistently, and in 2014 it just came to a point we said, okay, instead of just showing up to watch every week, let's just get into it ourselves.
Lots of experience now. What are you still working on? Like, where are you at now in your career, and what are you still working on? What are some goals you even have this season?
This season we're going to run a 270 micro sprint like we've been for the last few years. We're going to be running for a guy named Rick Yannick. Him and his wife own a business called Cars Consulting. So through them and their business, it really gives us a lot of opportunities to expand what we're doing. And I think for the both of us, I think we can have a lot of fun, and going hand in hand in the operation together. I think it, like I said, opens up a lot of good avenues for us.
Rick's a good guy. He's been out at Greenwood for many, many years. Another guy who's been out at Greenwood, and I know we've talked about this in the past, but you leaned on Ross Perchak. If anybody knows anything about micro racing, not just here in the Hazleton area, but throughout the entire region, and if it's a 270, it's Ross Perchak, better known as Ross the Boss. How has he helped you, and how has he, been able to teach you and get to you and, feel that car? Because obviously he's the best of the best right now.
Yeah, he's, like you said, he is the best of the best. They don't call him the boss for no reason. I think he's definitely helped us out quite a bit. He's about as knowledgeable as you can get from a 270 driver, and I'd probably say he's the greatest 270 driver that I've ever heard of. I think watching him and just trying to learn from somebody like him or somebody close to his level is really important for me, just as a driver, and not only as a driver, but also our operations and what we're doing, how we're setting cars up, how we're doing things like that. Just pretty much the procedure as a whole.
What's your personality like as a driver? I have a follow-up question to this, but how would you describe your personality as a driver and out there on the track?
I'd say I'm a pretty forgiving driver. Maybe sometimes too much for my own good. I do about what I can to not rub anyone the wrong way, but at the same time, the goal is always to take advantage of everything that you possibly can on the track.
So forgiving of others and forgiving on the car, maybe?
Yeah, I think you can put it that way. That's a good way to describe it.
I wanted to ask that because you're a psychology major at Penn State University, so I wanted to ask a bit about personality. And also, how did you get into that? Were you always interested in that field?
Yeah, I think it's always something that I've been interested just about, how the brain works, why people are thinking the way they do. And I think it's really relevant, not just as an area to study, but in a lot of different things, whether it's in real life, whether it's at the racetrack. I think there's a lot of real world implications that studying those sorts of things can have.
Brandon, a lot of the stuff you've done is basically over at Greenwood Valley, and we know Jerry and Cindy Krevling out there, especially Jerry. He takes so much pride in preparation for that track and everything. This time of the year, things are a little different than they will be a month from now and into the summer. How are you able to read the track every week? Because he tries to do some tricky things from time to time.
Yeah, I'd say you definitely don't know what you're going to get, but I think to be completely honest, I think that's part of what is fun about it. You never know who's going to have their car set up the right way any given night. So I think not only does it add a different element of competition, I think it can also be more entertaining to watch.
What do you wish you knew when you were a younger driver? As you were coming up, what's a lesson you learned? What do you wish you knew when you were just starting out?
Something that I probably wish I knew is that you're not going to change the world in one Saturday night. Regardless of how many different setups you can put in a car, how many different lines you try to run. I think something that's really important, and maybe advice that I would give, is that being able to understand the feel of a car and the feel of what adjustments you need to make to a car comes with a lot of experience.
Touching on the fact that how he is with other drivers, and what makes a good driver an even better driver is that you don't dwell on the last race. Just look forward and go to the next race. Don't carry that. If there was a grudge or something that went wrong, you can't really do that. And that's where you see champion drivers really shine the best, because they just look forward. They don't continue to look back and worry about those kind of things. And I think this kid has all of those quality traits.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for taking time and talking with us. If people want to follow your career, find out what's going on, do you have a social media anywhere? How can we find out about you?
Yeah, as of now, I actually upload some GoPro footage to my own personal account. We also have a Facebook account. It's called Crock Racing, C-R-O-C-K Racing.
For Dino Alberto with us, Brandon Crockford, I am Ken Cara. Thanks for watching. Sports on SSPTV News is brought to you in part by the Lehigh Valley Health Network and MMI Preparatory School. Come see what they have to offer during their exploration days. You can also schedule a visit with their admissions director. Call 570-636-1108, extension 136, or email admissions@mmiprep.org.